to talk to you about the word process. Now, you may or may not know, but I am what I call a process development coach and a consultant. My definition of a process is a series of events that lead to a desired outcome. A good process will lead to a good outcome. A bad process will lead to a bad outcome. No process, though, is ever completely all good or all bad. Although we want the outcome to be all good, we have to weed through the bad parts of the process in order to change them to achieve the desired result or outcome that we are looking for. And what I want to talk to you today about someone's process that was very interesting to me. I had the chance to talk to a friend of my son's who had spent a couple hours over the house, and as I found out, she was a recovering anorectic. She was also she had dealt with bulimia. Now, I don't know if you know exactly what that is, but anorexia is a disease, if you will, that makes you stop eating, maybe even vomit all the time, take laxatives in order to prevent yourself from gaining weight, and eventually you end up losing so much weight that you get very, very sick from it. It could lead to severe immunocompromise, and eventually in the long term can even lead to death. Now, she gave me permission to tell her story, and I found it so interesting that I wanted to share it with you in this week's newsletter. She's such a remarkable woman, and now she's on her way to a very productive life. And we talked about the causes of her condition. Now, classically, you will hear that the ideal model that you see, the ideal, well, for her, a female, is thin and beautiful with the right shape and the right curves. And she kept looking at that. And she did live in Los Angeles, where apparently this is very prominent. But she looked at other people and she started comparing herself to them, and she started saying, well, that's what I want to look like, but I've got too much fat. I've got too much weight. I got to find a way to get rid of it. And many times she would eat a meal because she did like the taste of food, but she realized that she could get around that by, once she ate, she would go ahead and vomit, or at some point she'd take a laxative. And this is what leads to the problems of anorexia, and the rest of that is called bulimia. But she needed to try and maintain her perfectionist type of look. And she also is a perfectionist by her way of living, by personality. Therefore, she has an addictive personality, and sometimes it's this addictive personality that will help lead to where she ended up being. So as we talked, we started talking about her process as to how she got away from this. The first part of her process is she had to realize where she was. She had to realize the mistakes that she had made and what was going to happen to her. The second part of her process was filled with some challenges because the roommates that she was living with, as she realized that she had a problem and she was trying to change it, she was no longer the ideal person that they wanted to associate with, so they kicked her out of her apartment and she had to find someplace else to live. So that was challenging to her. Once she got into therapy, she had to start analyzing what she was eating and start thinking about her habits and start breaking those habits so that she could gain weight. Now today she's well on her road to recovery. She's still in her process. The process is not completed, but she needs to know when she needs help, and she needs to have the support system to seek that. This has been her process. So here is a young lady who came across her wall in life at a very young age. Now, all of us are going to meet our wall, and many of us will meet more than one wall in our life, and how are you going to handle it? But she is headed towards her desired income, her desired outcome. She is headed towards becoming a functioning human being in this beautiful United States that we live in. So what is your wall? What is your process? Do you have a process going on at all? And what is the outcome that you desire? Modeling the process of this young lady, here are some steps that I recommend to you. Number one, first of all, realize where you are and recognize that you may need some help. You may need to put together a team to help you develop your outcome. But always look for the support group. Always know where you are and recognize it. Number two, take people along with you that have similar ideals and goals, and leave the rest behind. This young lady has been able to go out and to help other anorectics and other bulimics. She's become their support group. She's become part of their team. So take these people along with you and leave the rest behind. She left those others behind, and that's okay to leave people behind. Number 3, you're going to experience rejection along the way. It's part of the process. You're only looking for your yes. Number 4, analyze where you are, analyze your habits, and change them if you need to. Number 5, have a support group and a mentor that you can turn to whenever you need the help. And lastly, realize your goals and work towards them. Remember, it's your process, it's your outcome, and only you can do it. And I know you can.